Welcome back to another wonderful episode of Pop Culture Junkie podcast. My name is Shauna, and I am joined by my fellow junkie, whose name is
Olivia.
Hi.
Hey.
We just got our nails done like 2 hours ago. No one can see them, but they're really pretty.
Yes, unless you're on YouTube.
Unless you're on YouTube, and then you get to see our gorgeous nails.
Which follow us on YouTube.
Follow us on YouTube so you can see our nails. That's
the only reason. Yeah, that's the only reason.
And I like being in the nude with you today. The fact that we're just totally nude is great too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get YouTube subscribers.
Okay,
now, huh?
there you go. That's how it all starts.
Just, we are nude. How are you? What have you been up to? What have you been watching, reading, listening to?
So I was still stuck in the Game of Thrones is my obsession lately.
Oh, absolutely.
So I have been, speaking of YouTube, stuck on David Lightbringer's YouTube channel, and it's all the theories about what's going to be in Winds of Winter, and then also all of like the magic theories. So the whites are, I guess, in the book, the others. And then Azor Ahai prophecies, the green
like the
men.
White Walkers?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the book, they're called the others.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Like the green men, all of those. And I've just been like so deep in it. But I just realized that the bar that we always go to, the Casual Pint, is doing a Game of Thrones trivia.
Wait, when?
July 30th. So I'll be in town. We should go. So I was like, it's just been serendipitous. I was preparing for my moment.
That's perfection.
Yeah.
I love that you still call it Game of Thrones, because so do my husband and I. Well, like, do you want to watch Thrones tonight? And they'll be like, ah, shit, House of the Dragons. Whatever, it's Thrones.
Game of Dragons.
You want to watch Game of the Dragon House with us today? Okay, so spoilers for episode, what was that, 4?
Yeah.
Of Game of the House of the Dragons.
House of the Dragons, season 2, episode 4.
I got a spoiler somehow on like Facebook or Instagram that people were saying that this character was going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Again, spoilers in 3, 2, 1. People were saying Rhaenys was going to die.
Yeah.
And I was like, why would they think that? And I went, oh, fuck, that's right. There was a whole book about this. Wasn't there?
There is a complete storyline of a finished book.
Did you like how they portrayed it, though? Like Rhaenys' death?
Yeah. I think it was good. A little bit different from what's in the book. So in the show, they make it where Aegon is kind of like drunk driving his dragon to this battle.
He's a wine drunk.
Don't drink and drive.
No, don't drink and dragon.
Don't drink and dragon, especially. So in the book, it was more of like they did a coordinated attack on her. And they always said that they thought she would be able to win if it had just been her and Vhagar and not also Sunfire.
Okay, yeah.
But I really liked how that they did it, and they added that complexity to it. And then like Aemond basically like Dracarys like trying to kill Aegon. It was crazy.
I was thinking that too. I'm like, okay, he's trying to kill his brother, right? And then we thought, it's kind of up for interpretation. Is he trying to kill him, or was it like a, whoops, you just got caught in the crossfire? Like, it could be either. But to me, it seemed like he was shooting, and then in the back of his mind, he probably went,
2 birds, 1 stone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if he dies, he dies. And if he doesn't, he doesn't. Let's just see what happens kind of thing. Because obviously, they had that scene earlier where they're both speaking like High Valyrian to each other, and
and Aegon's like,
he's like, me gusta pantalones
in la biblioteca.
Yo paso la aspiradora.
Us in Mexico.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Me and Olivia are going to Mexico in like 2 days, and she's already warned me that she's gonna be like, El baño es aquí.
Seasoned Spanish, and I lived in Texas and Arizona. So
you should be better at Spanish.
Just language, not a natural. I would be Aegon.
Why say many word when few word do trick?
Yes.
I will help you.
Yeah,
I will get us through.
You also said you're not much better, so.
I have a very long streak on Duolingo.
Yeah.
And my Nana has taught me how to say pussy. I know how to say fuck and pussy and where's the bathroom and how much does this cost?
Okay.
And that
Seems
sounds
like all you need to know.
That sounds like I'm trying to order a prostitute.
You probably are.
¿Cuánto cuesta
or
la
some
panocha
fake
en
weed.
el baño?
Yeah.
That's all I need.
I will let our friend Ashley speak for us.
Yes, Ashley and Jessica can speak Spanish for us. You just have to go like this, girl. Gracias. Gracias. Gracias.
Is that what works on Nona?
Nona? Nana?
Nana. There we go.
Nona?
That's more Italian.
No, Nana taught me la panocha es pussy. Panocha. That's pussy.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon throne games has been great.
Yeah. So when Sir Kristen Cole walks...
Sir Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, there
Jesus,
you go.
I hate him.
Walks up to Aemon when it looks like he had his knife out, but it also kind of looked like he was sheathing it at the same time. So I think it is whenever Sunfire is down and like Aegon is burned.
Okay, yeah.
It looks like he was like sheathing it again. But do you think that Kristen Cole is going to like do something about it or just kind of pretend it never happened?
I think he's going to pretend like it never happened. I think Sir Kristen Cole is a baby back bitch. He's going to do shit about fuck.
Oh my gosh. So the actor actually made a public statement about how people are like being crazy to him.
I hate that. Okay, listen, the fact that we hate this character so much just means that he's a great actor.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
He seems like such a nice man, too, in all of his interviews.
That's the thing. It's like if he's playing a character that you hate that much, that means the actor is doing his job. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with like the actor who played Joffrey.
Yeah.
And who
he's finally coming back to acting, though.
Yeah, that's right. And the actor who played Ramsay, right?
Ramsay Bolton.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that we hate them so much means that they're doing a good job. So don't shit on the actor. He's not the character.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I know we've talked about parasocial relationships on the podcast before, but I think it's really even more interesting when it's a fake character in a fake world even, and people like really can't separate that.
Yeah, that just seems like ignorance to me. I don't know how else to explain like fans who
touch grass.
Yeah, go out and touch grass, breathe air, kiss a person. I don't know. Like, get some other relationships beyond television.
The one with your screen. Yeah,
literally,
I think it's just take a step back.
It's kind of sad because this guy is probably a very nice guy and he's a great actor.
That's why Instagram made limited comments.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I want to play a villain in something, but I don't want people to hate me.
Might win you an Oscar. Or in this case, an Emmy.
If it wins me an Emmy, then I will be hated by the masses. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I see that.
God, what else have I been doing? I finished Fourth Wing, that book that I talked about last week, that I said at the time reminded me of
Divergent.
It didn't. I'm so sorry that I said that.
You just saw a magical college and we're like, okay.
I mean, okay, we're going to talk about, spoiler alert, anime in this episode. And there's a lot of magical colleges in anime. Or magical high schools, I guess I should say. So there's a lot of tropes that I caught early on. But by the end of the book, I was hooked. I was obsessed.
Guys, she finished it in a week. She can read now.
I learned how to read. Fabra would be so proud of me.
She responded and was like, oh my God, I loved it. And I was like, look at my little illiterate go.
My little illiterate baby has come so far. She can sound out words.
She could read a whole book in more than 3 months.
I was obsessed. It hooked me. It was so action-packed. And there are like spicy scenes, but they felt well earned. And I believed that these two people really cared about each other and that they trained for a whole year. And I also like that she was 20 years old, right? So she's not a teenager. And so I kept thinking like, when I was 20, you know, like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like that's how I would have been.
Did you know that Taryn is based on the author's 12-year-old American Bulldog?
No.
Yeah. So Taryn is a grumpy little dragon in the book.
A grumpy big dragon.
A grumpy big old dragon. It's like Vagar, essentially. to cross over the two worlds.
When I was watching House of the Game of Thrones dragons, I was like, which one's like Taryn and which one's like Andarna?
And Darna is like Sunfire.
I know, R.I.P. Sunfire.
Oh, I cried whenever the dragons were fighting.
I don't want the dragons. Squirrel. I don't want the dragons to die.
Yeah,
They're not.
Same. But we know they all do.
I mean,
so.
yeah.
Okay, but in this book,
there are also dragons. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked it. The twist at the end is so good.
I was shook.
Yeah.
I know our friend Jessica was like, I called it. I didn't fucking call it. I didn't call it.
Like, I had no idea. The end of the second book, Rebecca Yarros is amazing at a cliffhanger at the end of a book. And you love it and you hate it because I read Iron Flame probably like a month after it came out, which is the second book in the series. And I was so upset at the end of it. I was like, I need to know what happens.
I tried to listen to Iron Flame, and for some reason, it's locked on Spotify. I don't know if it's like a premium. And I have Spotify Premium.
Yeah,
so it's like,
weird.
What the fuck? I don't know. And I didn't get my whole 15 hours, whatever they give you for free. But
yeah.
Guess I'm just going to have to read it old school.
I read
poor. And I did read
Fourth
Wing old school. I just listened to it a few times.
Yeah.
Loves driving.
That's normally what I do. Because I'm like, if I'm hooked, I need to do things. But I also want to keep learning the story.
The only time I listen to it is if I'm driving somewhere.
Oh, grocery shopping, audiobook.
Really?
Like, always. Yeah.
Oh.
Really, anything where I'm alone in public, I just have a little earphone in.
I love that.
And it's either a podcast or an audiobook. Like, I can't be alone with my thoughts.
Olivia's talking to somebody and she's trying to be all professional. And in her head, it's just like, and he bent her over the armoire, inserting himself.
Shrek slam sauce.
But then the dragon came and burned them all alive.
Yeah, I yap or I have to listen to yapping, you know?
You do yap.
I love a yap.
That's why we have a podcast.
That's why I'm doing this.
I yap.
The people in my personal life are so happy that I do this now, though, because they don't have to like listen to me go on about whatever pop culture thing that they really don't care about. Like, I'm like, yeah, but did you know Bradley Cooper?
Like, yeah, we fucking listen to your podcast, Olivia. We know.
Yeah, but
Bradley Cooper. What about Bradley Cooper?
Well, the immediate fact that came to my mind was the Bradley Cooper Sookie Waterhouse reading Lolita in the park. Do you know that picture?
I mean, no, but I can picture it.
It's iconic.
You said it, and I just imagined
it's iconic.
And
like I think she was like freshly over the age of 18.
Oh God! So of course he's reading Lolita with her.
Yeah, and so it was like a real meta. They called the paparazzi for sure on them. It's like the clearest picture.
It's like when Grimes was reading. What's that book that's like the longest book ever known ever? It's Atlas Shrugged. Is that what it is? Yeah, I don't know. It's a picture of Grimes reading something that you're like, really, girl? Bitch.
The cult assigned it.
You're reading.
The assigned
you
reading
got
list.
Busy, too bored doing Elon. And
yeah, well, yeah. I would too. He's got like a shelf, like a weird angle of his body.
Every time I think about Elon Musk, I think about his chest and just how protruded is.
That's what I mean. Like he's got like he looks like two kids in a trench coat. Like that also reminds me though, I feel like the inverse of that is somehow Elon Musk at the beach. Have you seen that picture of him where he's literally, I don't know how.
So pale. Well, listen, I'm not one to body shame anyone.
He's repelling
But Elon Musk is disgusting.
Disgusting?
Well, it was one of yes.
Disgusting? No, but it's literally repelling light. Like, I don't know how it's somehow reflect.
He almost
it's
refracting.
A word. Yeah, there we go.
He
refracting light. That's the word I was trying for.
He could be a Twilight vampire.
Yeah.
Like if you bought a Twilight vampire from Wish.com.
Do you think that's what SpaceX is about?
It's just trying to discover Twilight.
How do I get that glitter skin, man? I don't even care about Mars. I just want the skin.
Oh my God. Fuck Elon Musk. I love my Tesla though.
Yeah. And I feel like Grimes is like a weird, somehow Kristen Stewart as Bella. Because she's kind of, you know.
That. Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Oh, I love that. Okay. So they were just in their Twilight
era. Do you
era.
think that there's Elon Musk and Grimes
and
fanfic?
AEX12 is Renesmee.
Their child whose name is...
Yeah. Yeah, and then they're Renesmee.
It's just a CG baby. All of his children are just computer animated.
Yes. Has anyone seen AEX12?
Has anyone actually met one of Elon Musk's and Grimes'
12
children?
At this point?
It's like, just...
I think it's Renesmee. Guys, I think we hacked... Yeah, we hacked the case.
We're just fucking dunking on these kids.
So who is Grimes? Is Jacob? Is it Duffy from The Cult?
Oh my God, Duffy. You got me crying out for mercy. That Duffy?
No, it's like a TikTok sound where she's like, Duffy, the leader of the cult.
Oh, I forgot about that. You told me about that.
Yes, it's so good. Okay,
you
Duffy.
Told me the dumbest shit, Olivia.
Again, the people in my life are so happy that I do this now.
I am happy.
You're happy, they're happy.
As a people in your life.
Okay, so they were just living their Twilight dreams. We somehow like them more now.
I do kind of like them more now, and I kind of want to call Brad Perry and see what he thinks about this.
Has he met Elon?
Do you think Brad Perry has met Elon? For some reason, even if he hasn't, I feel like Brad would be like, yeah, me and Elon.
He'd have a story. Like
he would just have a story.
What if he had like a Elon was lapsing in memory story?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he's got like a Jekyll and a Hyde.
I feel like we could have to ask him.
Yeah, phone a friend.
Let's phone a friend. Let's phone Brad Perry.
What do you think about Grimes
and
Elon Musk?
He's just flexing in his underpants.
Yeah, we gotta get an update. Love it.
All right. So it's become pretty clear at this point that Olivia and I are kind of the same person.
No,
absolutely not. There is one facet of pop culture that she has not explored yet that I am a huge fan of, and that is anime. So tonight I'm going to share some of my favorite shows with her. She's already watched a couple episodes, and we're going to just talk about the history of anime and what Japanese anime is. I am so excited. We've been hanging out for the past 3 hours, and I wanted to talk to you about it so bad. And we've just been like, no. Hold. Wait till we record.
We do it all for you.
We do it for the fans. So if you say the word animation, it can mean anything. It's like a cartoon, right? You can have Disney animation, Pixar, whatever. Japanese anime really kind of depicts a certain type of animation, and it originated in Japan. So in the early 20th century, anime kind of traces its roots back there, and it was influenced a lot by Western animation styles, with the first Japanese animation in 1917 as a silent short film. In the 30s and 40s, there was a lot of experimental and propaganda films that came out during World War II. Also, as a person who has been to Japan and gone to a World War II museum as an American, the entire time you're just like this. Sorry.
Sorrows.
Sorry about that. Awkward. What's known as the golden age of anime is the 60s and the 70s. There's an iconic anime called Astro Boy that came out in 1963 that kind of introduced a lot of tropes, which is kind of like a theme. You know what a trope is, that we see in anime to this day. Mecha anime came out in the very late 70s, and mecha is giant robots, which is Gundam Wing, things like that, which is still very popular in Japan. If you go to Japan, there is literally a life-sized mecha, like a Gundam robot. That is, I don't think it's in Tokyo, but it's somewhere in that area. And did you ever watch Power Rangers as a kid?
Yes.
Okay. So a lot of that is kind of Japanese influenced with mechas and stuff, right? So they all kind of form into one giant robot.
Yeah. So Okay, yeah.
You pick it up what I'm putting down a little bit here.
I get the robots.
In the 80s and 90s, anime gained international popularity. So shows like Dragon Ball. I made Olivia watch an iconic episode of Dragon Ball Z. The main character is Goku.
Yep.
Dragon Ball is the prequel, so it came first.
Okay.
And that shows Goku as a child. He is an alien. I feel like you probably have so many questions about this one-off episode.
I was like 95th is a choice of an episode to send me in. But I do remember you talking about him because of animated characters who had no business being that hot.
Oh, yes.
And I think that episode is when he gets introduced, right?
So my anime crush is this character named Trunks, who is from that anime.
Okay.
But he wasn't in the episode that you watched.
Okay.
But you are on the right track. But it's just all of these jacked out of their minds dudes, right? Sailor Moon was also kind of came out in the 80s and 90s.
I loved Sailor Moon. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you what happened in it, but I loved it when I was younger.
I mean, same. I remember I had a Sailor Moon backpack when I was in elementary school. And again, anime is a thing now that is so popular and mainstream. People don't make fun of you if you say you like anime. In the 90s, it was different. When I was in elementary school and I had a Sailor Moon backpack, kids at school made fun of me, which was so dumb.
I think it's like cool among Gen Z kids, but I think like all the way until I was in high school, it was still kind of like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess kind of. I was obsessed with Pokemon growing up too, which is another very popular
But I feel
anime.
like a lot of people don't think of Pokemon as that, and maybe it's because it was such like a US fad as well. Where
I think so.
It has that kind of art form and style, but you think of it as like an American thing almost.
I think so. I think you're right. Like people watched the Pokemon cartoon on adults, or not even Adult Swim. I guess that was more like Dragon Ball Z. Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
So Cartoon Network after school would play Pokemon, Digimon, and kind of those like child-oriented animes. And they did originate in Japan.
Yep.
But American kids, we just saw this. We didn't know, like, this is a Japanese cartoon. We just thought it was a cool cartoon, right?
Yeah.
And then that's kind of like your stepping stone into, oh, I like Dragon Ball Z, and like Inuyasha and Sailor Moon. And then you start watching Adult Swim, and that's when kind of like the more adultly animes come on, where it's more violent. When Dragon Ball Z first started airing on Toonami and the Cartoon Network and stuff, they weren't allowed to show the actual blood because these are pretty violent animes. I mean, you watched the one episode and it's pretty violent, right?
Yeah.
And so they would edit out the blood in a lot of them. Or if they showed animes on American television and they were smoking cigarettes, they would blur out the cigarettes and it would just be like a black bar. It would be so funny. So 80s and 90s, a lot of these became more popular, right? And from the 2000s to the present, like I just mentioned, anime has become so much more popular, so much more mainstream. There's streaming networks like Crunchyroll, which I gave you my ginormous password to.
So Shauna gives me the episodes, gives me a login to Crunchyroll, and it's her husband's login. And I go type it in, and it is like, it's Fort Knox in this Crunchyroll like login. I literally was like, what is Andrew protecting
it's like
behind this
Crunchyroll
letters,
lowercase letter @ upside down question mark?
It was crazy. I was like, okay, first of all, what the hell is Andrew hiding in this
hentai.
Crunchyroll? Yeah,
all of his hentai viewing.
Why does he make it so intense? Second, if I ever got logged out of that thing on my TV, I would never use it again.
I'm done.
I was struggling typing it in on a computer, and I was like, if I had actually tried to do this on my Fire Stick.
He's like, why is she just copy and paste? And I said, because I texted it to her. How is she supposed to copy it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't connect my text to my work computer.
Literally. He said it was because Germans kept logging in and
he said
watching all of his anime in German.
She asked, why do you have such an insane password? And he just said, because of the Germans.
He said the Germans. And I went, oh, well, that explains it.
someone from Germany hacked his account and was watching anime
all
in
of
German.
his anime to German,
Yeah.
and he didn't like that.
I had that with a man in Colombia, and I let him use it for a while
How'd you know it was a man?
because he made a profile named Carlos.
Oh, ooh, hi, Carlos. Hola, Carlos.
But yeah, me and my brother both were like, do you know a Carlos? No, we let him use it for like a month later.
Fuck it. Just let him.
Finally,
Whatever.
we were like changing the password. Too much work.
Effort.
Yeah.
It's just Carlos.
Yeah, Carlos. He's fine. He made his own profile.
That's just like him.
Yeah. Oh, that's silly
Little
guy.
Carlos.
Silly guy. No, but Crunchyroll was convenient.
Okay, so I want to go through a few subgenres of anime.
Okay.
And then we will talk about the episodes that you watched.
Mm.
And so we'll start with shonen anime. It's often targeted at young boys. It features action-packed plots and themes about friendship and adventure. These are really popular animes, and they have a lot of
What are we defining as young boys?
Naruto, One Piece, Pokemon. I would say kind of adolescent.
Okay.
These aren't going to be as violent. I mean, I love shonen animes, but they are a little trope heavy where it's always, oh, yeah, we're going to get through this with the power of friendship. Me and all my buds are going to become I'm going to become king of the pirates, or I'm going to become the most powerful wizard there ever was. It's usually like a young male character who wants to prove himself for love or family or glory or friendship, right?
They just made One Piece into like a live action, right?
I loved it.
Yeah.
So a lot of live action animes are very hit
Not
and
good.
miss. There is a live action movie of Dragon Ball Z, and James Marsters plays Piccolo, the green guy.
Marsters.
Spike from Buffy.
Oh, I was thinking James Marsden.
You're like, James Marsters, Spike from Buffy, plays Piccolo. So he's in Dragon Ball Z, the episode you watched, he's the green guy.
Okay, cool.
And no, it's bad.
Oh.
It's awful. It's probably widely known as like the worst anime film of all time, live action.
Okay.
It's
when did they make it?
Oh gosh, I was in middle school or high school.
It was an ambitious project.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
What's
Don't
the
watch
best
it.
live action, like Avatar, The Last Airbender?
No,
Yeah.
that's awful.
The live action?
Okay, let me take that back. The anime that just came out on Netflix is not that bad. M. Night Shyamalan made a live action Avatar The Last Airbender movie also when I was in high school, and it is probably the second worst anime film of all time.
Oh, okay. Isn't there another one though?
Yeah, the one on Netflix that just came out, I think, last year, and it's not bad.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
It's very hit and miss at these live action animes because, as you saw, like anime is so over the top and there's so many things that are just hard to capture with live action people, right?
Yeah, I
So,
can see that.
just really quickly so we don't take up a lot of time going through these. Shoujo is kind of aimed at young girls, like shonen is kind of quote unquote aimed at young boys. And I do want to preface that like this is just a very broad aimed at boys and girls binary definition. People can like whatever the fuck they like. I liked Dragon Ball Z as a little kid. And again, I got teased for that because that was a boy show. None of this matters. Your gender, like what you like. Seinen, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, is geared towards adult men. So it's going to be a little more mature, complex characters, a little more violent. Shows like Ghost in the Shell or Berserk. Josei, the opposite of that, adult women. So it's going to have more realistic relationships, career challenges, things like that. I should also mention, Olivia and I are both white people from America. So I am doing a broad overview of like Japanese anime, but if anybody is listening who is Japanese or from Japan, please don't, like, I hope I'm not slaughtering all of this. And
it's with love. It's with love.
Exactly. And I say this with love too, but like a lot of things in Japanese culture that I've noticed are a lot more gender binary, right?
I was going to ask that because like in, Latin languages, there is like male and female words. And so I was wondering if Japanese was like that as well.
Yeah. So I think it's just kind of your gender expectations in Japan too. When we went to Tokyo, this is a strange example, but we went to this sex store, right? Okay. And it was 5 stories tall vertically. And each story was a different type of kind of kink.
Okay.
And so the first was kind of like sexy costumes.
Okay.
And the second floor was toys and lube. And then the third one, oh, I'm sorry, it was 4 stories. The third one, all of a sudden, there was signs that said no women allowed. Women can't go past this point.
Scary.
So I literally went to my husband. I was like, you must go up there right now and report back to me. They won't let women up there.
Oh, weird.
And
what was it?
It was a lot of hentai, which is like anime. That's pornography. Yeah. But a lot of it was kind of like there was torsos that you could buy and have sex with,
those,
and sex dolls and
what
sex pillows.
Like they start with an F. I don't know, but they're like really realistic. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's another kind of common trope in Japanese anime called moe, which is kind of like your little sister innocent. Oh, please. Oh, yeah. Oh my God, I'm just an innocent little girl.
Uh-huh.
And there were some smaller torsos up there, right?
Ew.
And women weren't allowed up there. It's just very much distinct. Like, you guys could come down here, and those 2 are for the men.
Mm.
And
probably because it's creepy.
He came back down, and he was like, "Why did you send me up there?"
He came back like, "Yeah, you didn't want to go up there.
I don't need to be up there, neither."
They were right. They were right.
But so there's this thing called fan service in anime too, which is kind of where some animes have it, some don't. I'm not a huge fan of it. One of the animes that I made you watch, there's like a slight example of it. And it's, oops, I tripped and I fell into this woman's bosom and now her bra popped off. And oh God, her skirt flew up and now I can see her panties.
Yeah.
And it's fans like that in some anime, right? So they call it fan service. They're only doing it so that the fans can pop a little boner.
A certain group of fans.
A certain group of fans can pop a boner.
There we go. Okay.
Mecha, we talked about, that's giant robots. Isekai involves characters from the real world that are being transported to a fantasy world. An example of that is Sword Art Online. Slice of Life is one of my favorite animes. I had you watch a Slice of Life anime. And that's just kind of portrays mundane, everyday experiences and relationships, 2 people getting to know each other and going about their lives.
Okay.
Fantasy is set in a fantastical world of magical elements, mythical creatures, epic quests. Attack on Titan, another one that I had you watch the first episode, is an example of that. Sports anime, I feel like if Nicole was still with us, I would have had her watch an episode of that. And these revolve around sports competitions. Hayuku, sorry if I said that incorrectly. There's animes about swimming competitions, cooking competitions, volleyball, basketball.
Interesting.
And then there's one called Harem, which my husband may or may not be a fan of. I like one harem anime. It's not the most feminist thing in the world,
I was like, is it the meaning of the word harem?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So it often involves one man who has an assortment of women vying for his attention.
Oh, I wonder why he would like that.
It's so weird that my husband likes that. I'm like, you are going to be happy with me, sweetie. Like,
our harem, sweetie.
Our harem, sweetie. I was like, you have enough bitches in your life. You got me, the dog, and the cat. That's it. Listen.
You got Toast, you got Buffy, you got Shauna.
That's all you need. Sometimes you got Olivia. Listen.
Hey, not in that way.
No, just in the you're around way.
Yes, there we go. There we go.
All right, so I want to talk about the 3 animes that I had you watch. Just the first episode of. Let's start with Dragon Ball Z, because we said that a little bit.
Okay.
I will give you a little bit of backstory with Dragon Ball Z at this point. Goku is an alien. He is basically Superman. He is an alien from another planet, and his planet was blown up.
Okay.
And he was sent here with the goal of exterminating humankind, and then he ended up not, because he fell in love with humankind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that you see him fighting, Frieza, the purple, clearly an alien guy.
Yes.
Used to kind of enslave Goku's race.
Okay.
And that's why they're fighting, because Goku's standing up against him. So the episode I made her watch, by the way, is the episode called Finally Transformed, where Goku turns Super Saiyan for the first time in the entire series.
Yeah, so I feel like I've definitely seen the artwork and like the, I guess, cultural love for Dragon Ball Z. Like it's very much referenced in a lot of things. So that was something that I was like, okay, I've seen this before.
Is this the first episode you've ever watched though?
Probably all the way through, other than when like I was like watching over my brother's shoulder. Yeah. So I think I was a little confused going into it, where I'm like, who are these people? Obviously over time, if I was like watching it more, I would have picked it up.
You picked up that Gohan was his son, right?
Yeah.
The little kid.
The little kid. Yeah. So I thought that was
watch
cute.
It in English?
Yeah, I watched it in English. I followed English. All of your instructions. The only note that I left for Dragon Ball Z, though, was why is only that one guy randomly Australian? That was the main thing I took away from it.
I think it was somebody from Frieza's crew, one of the bad guys, right? Okay, so the episode starts, and we think this is such a strong anime trope, too, especially in Dragon Ball Z. They're like, yay, we beat Frieza, yay!
Okay,
woo!
yes, yeah.
And then it kind of goes into a filler where the Ginyu Force, when they're all on that other planet and they all have halos, that's the afterlife.
Oh,
they're all dead.
Okay. I feel like I needed a little voice note with some context before I went into it.
They're dead. they're dead. Andrew and I tried to watch this episode through your eyes, and the entire time we were like, Olivia's like, who the fuck is that? Why does that guy have 3 eyes? Why is he green? Why is he so short?
No, only thing I took away is why is only that guy Australian?
I love that out of everything, after people with halos on separate planets, she's like, that guy's Australian, he shouldn't be. Why?
It was very jarring. Like everyone felt like an English-speaking person somewhat imitating a Japanese like
cadence.
Yeah, right? Like it felt like an American trying to imitate a Japanese accent. Mm-hmm. Like that's what it felt like. And then there's just this super strong Australian like on the bobby kind of like.
Oh, you gonna take down Frieza?
It was jarring. That was my main takeaway. Honestly,
incredible. That's incredible. So they think they beat him. And then it kind of cuts to a little filler in the middle, in which I texted Olivia and I was like, I know the middle is going to get a little goofy, where they're all fighting in the afterlife on King Kai's planet. And you're going to be like, why are we watching this?
Yeah.
And then, oh, shock, Frieza's not dead. Were you surprised at all when Piccolo and Krillin were killed?
No, I don't think I knew them enough.
Well, the little guy who blew up.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just like, oh, people are just pew pew.
Yeah, people just die, right?
Pew pew. Yeah, so I feel like if I could be persuaded to watch another episode of it, but it didn't hook me.
If I was going to try to get you to watch an anime, this would not be the one.
Yeah.
But I wanted you to watch it as an example of like classic anime.
Now I can say I've seen Dragon Ball Z.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Spoiler alert, the guy that I told you about that was like my anime crush. Okay, so they beat Frieza. He actually does get beaten. He comes back later.
Okay.
But he's kind of put together in like mash of robotic parts. And he's Frankensteined back together. And they're like, oh, fuck, he's back. And then the guy that I said is my anime crush comes and beats him in one episode.
Oh.
And so everyone's like, who is this man?
It took 2 whole seasons and you did it in 1.
Oh, Dragon Ball Z is known for, tune in next time. Will they beat Frieza? You won't know until you tune in to Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, okay, so they're the main bad guy?
Frieza is kind of the most classic main bad guy.
Okay.
But there are lots of arcs. So animes have arcs. And so one bad guy will be the Frieza arc, and then there'll be the Cell arc, and then there's the Boo arc, and it's kind of based around like what they're fighting at the time.
Yeah. Okay.
But he's probably the most iconic villain.
Okay.
So let's talk about, I'm saving what you told me was your favorite anime for last. Now we're going to switch total gears and talk about an anime that I kind of consider slice of life. I think it's harem adjacent, but it's called My Dress Up Darling, which the title is so okay, there's titles of anime that are like, the one time I joined a podcast with my best friend Olivia, and then we had a fun time sitting on the couch together. And that'll be like the title.
The whole title. Yeah. Okay.
So My Dress Up Darling is about this super popular cute girl in high school, and she falls across the room.
She wants to cosplay.
Yes.
They meet. Yes.
And she meets this guy who makes Hina dolls.
Yeah.
And those are like Japanese, I guess, little classic dolls. Geishas.
Yeah.
Thank you. So the entire show I love because it's just about the two of them forming this unlikely friendship. And she eventually, spoiler alert, realized she's in love with him.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
you can see that.
there's a couple other female characters who kind of pop in, but they're not really competition because the show is about the two of them and just their relationship.
Yeah.
So I want to know what you thought about the first episode of My Dress Up Darling.
I had actually, like, again, and like memes and just like popular culture, I had seen the art of it. So I feel like I've seen, like, same with the Titans. Like, I had seen that art before. And so I was like, oh, okay, I've seen this a little bit. I do think the main character is just such incel vibes. The guy,
He's like, incelish.
He got bullied once and gave up and just was like, never going to talk to another person
Everything
again.
is very dramatic.
Yes, very dramatic within it. But yeah, I thought the girl was cute. She's so cute. Yeah. But yeah, they definitely had like the traditional like up the skirt kind of thing. And I feel like most of the men in my life who like anime love that stuff. And
The fan service.
So that's always been like my idea of anime, which, hey, let your freak flag fly. If you like it, you like it. We had a whole episode about what animated characters shouldn't have been that hot. So I get it. But,
that is true. That is true.
But yeah, I really liked the art in that one too. Like, I just thought her outfits were so cute. So,
I said that the whole time. I was like, Olivia's going to think she's so pretty. Yeah. She's got like long nails and her little ombre hair.
Yeah.
It's like, Olivia's just going to think she's so cute.
Yeah. Like, I liked Sailor Moon because they had great outfits. And I just love a little Japanese schoolgirl outfit. It's so cute. It's so cute.
So I don't like a lot of fan service animes just because I do think it gets a little
gross.
Yeah, because these characters are often teenagers.
Yeah.
So it kind of skirts that line. Like, I don't really want to sexualize a teenager like that.
Yeah.
But then again, we watch shit like Riverdale and Euphoria.
Yeah.
And those are actual
Yeah.
teenagers or like people portraying actual teenagers.
I think it is interesting. Like, one through line is Japanese women are very like childish in anime, like where they're very like,
and that's like that moe trope.
Yeah. And so it is kind of creepier where like, okay, you're 16, but you're kind of like a 6-year-old in personality. So it kind of feels grosser.
I feel that. And there's this anime trope too where it's like, oh, she has the body of a 12-year-old, but she's actually a 200-year-old fairy princess demon.
Isn't that so convenient?
Exactly. Isn't that so convenient?
Yeah.
Oh, she's technically of age, but no, she's got the body and the personality, and she's going to the 6th grade. Like, that kind of stuff I can't watch. And I'm not shaming if this is the kind of anime that anybody listening watches.
It's just not your
it's
cup of tea.
Not my cup of tea. And there are, like, I love My Dress Up Darling. And there is that point where she turns around and her skirt flies up and you see her panties. And then he gets like, oh God.
Yeah. The noise that he makes. Again, she told me to listen to this one in Japanese with English subtitles.
I like most animes subbed except for Dragon Ball Z. I like dubbed.
And they're just the parts where like he really goes in it, and just like that, listeners. And it was jarring. And just like the Australian, it was jarring.
The part where the little Hina doll head flies across the room and she picks it up and she goes, what the hell? And then she picks it up, she's like, that's so cool. He thinks she's about to like rip into him, right?
And he's like, like that, exactly. I was just like, okay. If a man in real life ever made that noise in front of me, immediate ick. Immediate ick. I'm sorry.
He just looks at you. You're just like, you're hard now.
Yeah, you're my friend.
You just jizzed in your pants, making eye contact with me.
You and I are friends, and that's.
I'm gonna just, from now on, whenever I see you,
that's all she's gonna do in Mexico.
Instead of complimenting your outfit, you're gonna come out of like the bathroom in Mexico, like looking cute, and I'm just gonna go, oh! Oh.
As opposed to what you already do, which is that.
Which is.
All of these are noises, and the
These
what
are,
is it?
These
again?
are very good
My
anime
dress
noises.
up darling.
Yes, these are all my dress up darling noises.
Yeah.
I love this show. She ends up falling in love with him at the point that we're at right now. I should also I would be remiss not to mention that a lot of animes are based off of manga.
Yeah.
So it's essentially like a Japanese comic book.
Yes.
Right? So
you can tell in the way that it's created.
Mm-hmm. So if you really want to, it's kind of like in House of the Game of Dragons Thrones. You know what's about to come because you've read all of the books, right?
Yep.
A lot of these things, Andrew has read the manga, so he knows what's about to come, but he doesn't want to spoil it for me.
Oh, that's good of him.
And, and sometimes I'll look it up.
Yeah.
But a lot of, I would say most animes are based off of manga, which are very popular in Japan. And are incredible. The artwork's insane. A lot of them are in black and white, and so it's really cool to see them
put into Technicolor.
Exactly.
Guess, yeah.
Technicolor.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in live action with the voices and things like that. So, and then there are things that aren't really popular in anime anymore that are called filler episodes, which I guess a lot of shows have, right? But imagine if a popular anime, Bleach, comes to mind. So you're animating all of this manga, all of this comic book. And let's say you get up to the point with your animation where you meet the manga. And the manga is like you meet up to each other.
Yeah.
Then you're like, well, shit, we still have a whole 5 more episodes we have to produce.
Yeah.
And then you think, let's just do our own things. That's where the famous bathing suit episode comes into play.
Okay.
A lot of animes have the let's go to the beach episode, which has nothing to do with the plot. It's just your excuse to see all of your favorite characters in bathing suits.
Okay. That's good to know.
Dragon Ball Z has a let's learn to play baseball episode.
Okay. Like Twilight?
Honestly, it's like the Twilight, honestly. It's amazing. We just need some Muse playing in the background. If no one has done that, somebody please put the Dragon Ball Z baseball episode to Supermassive Black Hole by Muse.
I'm sure it is on TikTok somewhere.
It needs to be.
If not, we'll do it.
There's an episode of Dragon Ball Z where they get their driver's licenses because they're from another planet and their wives demand that they get their driver's license.
What sweet little alien babies following the law.
Episodes.
They're following the law. They're law-abiding citizens.
They're trying. Okay, they're trying.
They're law-abiding aliens.
Law-abiding alien green citizens.
Yeah, there you go.
Finally, I want to talk about out of the 3 animes that I asked you to watch.
Okay.
You watched the first episode of Attack on Titan, and you said it was your favorite out of the 3, right?
Yes, correct.
All right. Tell me your thoughts on Attack on Titan.
Okay.
She goes, that's not saying much, Shauna.
Yeah, so I did like this the most out of the 3 that I watched. I do need to just read you my notes.
Oh my God, please, please.
After
For my dress up darling or Attack on Titan?
For Attack on Titans. Okay. And
Titan. I know there's many Titans,
yeah,
but
Attack
it's just
on Titan. There we go. Okay. Don't shoot me, anime people.
I won't. Love you.
So my notes are in rapid succession. Not the mom going full Bambi's mom, but ripped in half. That was my first note.
Spoiler if no one has watched the first episode of Attack on Titan, but it's been out for many years. So.
If you made it this far, we've probably already ruined like 5 shows for you. So we're sorry.
Dragon Ball came out in like the 80s, so that's fine.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Second note, Titans had some donk.
The Titans are thick.
They really are. They were looking good. I was kind of like...
They don't have genitals, though. They're just kind of like smooth Kindles.
Oh, okay.
Did you not look at the Titan crotches?
No, I was stuck on the butt.
Oh, they're just
good looking.
Kindles. They're smooth.
I was like, someone in animation really perfected that one.
Some of the Titans can get it.
Yeah, yeah. My next note was Mi Casa just kept giving me my house in Spanish, and it took me a while to get over.
Mi casa.
Yeah. But it's...
Mi casa es su casa. Mi casa is best girl, okay? Which means...
Yes. I liked her character.
Yes. Best girl is like if you watch an anime and you're like, she is the best woman of all. She's mine. I love her. Protect her at all costs, basically. Okay. Mikasa is best girl. And there's also best boy.
Yeah. Mikasa the character and my house. But
your house is incredible. Mikasa as Tsukasa.
No, but I just like I really kept just like hearing that in my mind every time I'd hear Mikasa.
To be fair, I think it's more like Mikasa.
But the way that they say it in the Japanese version sounds like Mikasa. It sounds like Mikasa. So I was like, it took me a while to get over it. But yeah, that one that like kills the mom, real creepy looking.
Yes.
Real creepy looking.
Okay, so Attack on Titan is, a lot of people will argue that it is the best anime of all time.
Yeah.
You will get in, it's known as like the GOAT kind of, right?
Mhm.
People get into LeBron and Kobe.
Yeah, I've definitely
Shit about
seen
this.
I'd seen the artwork before. I'd seen both characters, both of the little boy and the Mikasa.
Yes.
And I liked that the most. I think the story was the most interesting that I like wanted to continue. I did start with that one.
Okay.
So then I had to like go into the other two.
Interesting.
Which may have, made me less interested in the other ones because I was kind of like, oh, well, I kind of want to know what happens. In that one, the beginning was a little slow for me, but once the Titans came, I was like, okay.
Attack on Titan is insane because it's this kind of show where you think it's going to go one way. And then by the end of it, it kind of becomes like a political drama. It's about warring nations, and it gets a little convoluted at the end.
Yeah.
And you get to watch Eren, the main character who's a little kid, grow up. And by the end of the series, he's an adult.
Oh, okay. Because he's kind of annoying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's annoying. He's like, I want it. And it starts, and you think it's going to be a shonen, right?
Yes.
So what I told you about shonen is it's based on usually a little boy character who's like, I'm going to be the most powerful of them all. And he's like, I want to join the people who fight the Titans. So
then he watched his mom get ripped in half.
And then
like,
this anime is violent.
Yeah.
It's intense. People die when you don't expect them to. And
love that.
People betray other characters when you don't expect them to. And it stays very serious in its animation style. So you might have noticed a little bit in like Dragon Ball Z and maybe on My Dress Up Darling where they get a little goofy and their eyes get big and they get a little silly.
Yeah.
Attack on Titan, no. It's just straight up drama, the entire series.
Yeah. I think I would like that more.
I think you should watch the rest of it.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I might have to go English dub though. I need to try it because I hate subtitles like on anything. If someone
I'm not gonna make fun of you.
If someone
fine.
is watching subtitles,
It's
I'm like, turn it off. I can't pay attention. Like I can't do both. I don't know what's wrong with my eyes. I can't like
You're like
look
that
at
Amelia.
the art.
What's that movie where she is with the guy in the wheelchair?
Me Before You.
There it is.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't like subtitles.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it. I hate subtitles, especially like if it's English speaking show.
Everything we watch for anime except for Dragon Ball Z, because I prefer the Dragon Ball Z voice actors in English, we watch in Japanese.
Yeah.
And people like anime fans will be really like, sub versus dub.
Yeah.
I don't care as long as you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
And the Attack on Titan like English dub is not bad.
Okay, that's good.
Not bad.
Yeah, because sometimes they're like really bad. Like even on Netflix, when it's like I'll watch some like German shows, even if the dub is terrible because German and like English speaking words do not look the same at all.
Yeah.
I'll still just watch it in English and like get over it. But I think that's just a preference thing. So
watch it in English. But
I'll try it. I listened to the list and I followed it.
I am so like impressed that you actually went through this and that you didn't hate them and come in being like, Shauna, what the fuck did you make me watch? Because I tried to choose a classic one for you. And I guess I should have had you watch Dragon Ball Z first and then Attack on Titan so you could see where the evolution of like action anime,
that's
right?
smart.
Like how far the animation has come.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That makes sense. So you said that you and Andrew had a very long and heated debate on which ones to recommend to me. So how did you decide on the three?
So he wasn't sure that I should recommend the Goku going Super Saiyan episode for you. But what I said is I want Olivia to watch an episode of classic anime that is something iconic that happens. And I feel like when I think of iconic animes, Goku going Super Saiyan for the first time ever is immediately came to mind. So Super Saiyan he does because his friend is killed in front of him. Like both of his best friends are killed in front of him.
Yeah.
And he's just so rage and passion filled. And you could probably tell, even though it was your first episode, the dude is pissed.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then he goes to this next form. Right. And so I wanted you to watch something iconic like that. My dress up darling, I chose because I wanted you to watch an anime that was like a slice of life romance, but I didn't want you to watch a classic harem upskirt I fell into your tits, because that's not what I like.
Yeah.
And I know you well enough to be like, you'd be like, why am Shauna, this is disgusting.
Just a bunch of horny people.
There is this anime that I tried to get through called Food Wars. And it's essentially a cooking competition show.
Oh, is this like the Gordon Ramsay one?
Kind of. I mean, it's these students who are going to cooking college. A lot of animes kind of revolve around. They're going to magic college.
We're all stuck in a boarding school.
Yes. Yeah. They're going to a hero college, which is one of my favorite ones, My Hero Academia. But that's hero high school. Or they're going to wizard school. This one is cooking school.
Okay.
But the lead animator on this anime also used to write hentai.
Oh, so he really went for it.
He went for it. So let's just say when the characters try food that they really like, they essentially reach their pinnacle.
Yes. they come to a crescendo.
They crescendo and then their clothes fly off.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of the... Oh!
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, Olivia's not going to want to watch these teenagers coming because they ate good pasta. I
mean, I might, as a gluten-free person, I feel that deeply.
Olivia has
I might. I'd probably die right after, but, we don't know.
I don't know. When we were in California, you took your 3 Benadryl so you could have that. What was that dish?
I had a breadcrumb. I still took the breadcrumbs off of it, but it was oysters Rockefeller.
That's it.
Yeah. No.
And then her clothes flew off like in Food Wars, and she went, "Oh, senpai!"
All the noises. I love it.
But Olivia, we're in public.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Attack on Titan. It's just it's on many lists of like, you want to get your friend to watch anime? Attack on Titan is what they're kind of, that's what you show them.
I like a complex story and like a mystery that you got to solve. So.
Okay. So what I'm going to recommend to you right now is an anime that I almost asked you to watch too, but then I didn't. Okay. It's called Erased. It's a mystery drama. And it gets a little dark at points, but it's very serious. There's no goofiness in there at all. But it's this young adult. I also like animes that are adult characters because a lot of them are teenagers, which is kind of funny. And then they're shredded out of their minds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how old is this kid supposed to be? 14? All right, chill. He's got like a 12 bag.
He's got like a full-grown beard.
Literally, and all the women have just like the most outrageously large racks that don't move. They move independently from their bodies.
Yeah.
And
they just jump up and down.
And I'll literally be like, Andrew, that's not how breasts work. He's like, it's not. No. She moves over here and her tits are over there. That's not. Anyway, Erased is incredible. It's this young adult who, it kind of reminds me of Butterfly Effect, that Ashton Kutcher movie, where he realizes that he can kind of like go back into his past bodies and affect things that happen to him.
Oh, I like that.
And he leaps back into a point in time where he remembers in his neighborhood there was a lot of kids going missing. But now that he has the mind of an adult, he's like, I can kind of, maybe I can figure out why all these kids went missing in my neighborhood.
Sounds good to me.
It's insane. Yeah. It's one of the few animes I've cried watching. It's so good. And there is a live action adaptation, but I would recommend the anime.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Erased. I love The Butterfly Effect. It's such a good movie.
What an underrated movie.
It really is, but it's so good. I love it. I could like that's a good hungover film too.
I feel like we've talked about this before because we talked about the alternate ending where he kills himself in the womb.
Yeah. Favorite. Yeah.
Amazing.
No notes.
No notes. Self-abort. It's fine.
All right. Well, what was it called?
That one's called Erased.
Okay. And it's on Crunchyroll?
Yes. Use our Crunchyroll, baby.
Not on my Fire TV.
I'm going to change the password. I mean, I won't say what I'm going to change it to.
Okay. That's good. Yeah.
Everyone's just logging into our Crunchyroll.
The Germans, they're back.
Those goddamn Germans. I love our German fans. Listen.
Yeah. They're just still in the Crunchyroll, man.
Y'all like our anime.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would recommend that. And I would also recommend you keep going with Attack on Titan, even if you do the English version.
Yeah,
so,
I have to. That might get me through it.
So Olivia, would you consider yourself an anime fan now?
I'd say I'm exploring the fandom. I'm exploring it. I can take another suggestion. I would probably leave Dragon Ball Z. I'm sorry. And
Totally
my dress up doll, but
Darling.
It's gone. It's poof, you know?
It's gone.
But Attack on Titan.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Titan. With Eren Yeager.
Yeah, I could continue that and then the one that you just said.
Well, if I think of any more, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Okay.
To all the millions of fans listening, please let us know in the comments wherever you're listening to this or watching what animes you like. Another way to tell us your favorite anime series is by going to our website, popculturejunkie.com. Once there, you'll find the links to our social media and so much more. From there, you can find our podcast on all platforms. And don't forget to follow, subscribe, rate, and review us. All positively, of course. Olivia, where can the people find you?
You can find me, Olivia, on Instagram at Livy Maries, LIVIMARIEZ.
You can find me, Shauna, at Shauna Trinidad on Instagram and TikTok. We'll say TikTok. That's good. I post on there sometimes. I probably have like 45 TikToks from you that I haven't watched right now.
I actually have been so busy. I haven't really been on it, but
okay.
You know.
We're like adults. We're busy and stuff. But you can find me at Shauna Trinidad, SHAUNATRINIDAD. Come back next week for another hit of pop culture.
The Pop Culture Junkie podcast is produced by Jeff Markin and Cheryl Lightfoot for the Pop Culture Entertainment Network.
So entertain me, entertain me.